Greetings everyone, and welcome back to Luca Sprues. Now today's video is a little bit special. I'm sitting here in the hobby store down on 447 Wisest Road with the lovely Greg Bennett sitting beside me.
Hello.
And today I'm going to teach him how to build a model kit. And since we've both been watching and really enjoying the new BBC series Rogue Heroes, we're going to be building some of the long-range desert group Jeeps. So hopefully this video is helpful to some beginners and is not too painful for me to edit.
No swearing.
I mean, we can. I'll just fucking beep it out.
Okay.
All right.
Let's not.
Try not to swear as much
That's
as
a lot
possible.
of work. That's a lot of work.
I
Yeah,
know,
okay.
right?
What we're going to call this? We're going to call it what? Teaching an old dog new tricks.
Well, we were thinking because it's a bit. Usually, it's like the adults teach the kids how to model, but it's the other way around. So,
So maybe
it's more like teaching an
old dog
old tricks. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I suppose we'll just start building these. So
Well,
I've got to
yours
open
first.
mine first. So I'll open it up using the hobby knife. Usually the first thing I do is give the sprue a clean. So like stick it in some soapy water that just gets like the oils and grease off it, because usually they have a bit from being tooled.
So do you do that in the sink out the back?
Usually, yeah, that's what I use the sink for. Unlike you, you seem to use it to make tea.
Well, obs, because I'm British. That's why we're building a British kit.
Here, just realised there's no clear parts.
Pretty clear
We don't
parts.
even need any. There's no like
They don't
windshields
have
or anything
clear
on
parts
this
in
Jeep.
the desert.
Alright, well I suppose we'll duck off to the back and clean some of these sprues off. I was just going to make
This is going to be the beginning of a new series of videos, because once you've taught me to build this, I'm going to teach you to build RC stuff.
Oh no. You can see the instructions. We gotta get some bits out. So I like to use sprue cutters and then clean up, but another option
Is that
is
why
to
you
use a
call
knife.
Luca Sprues? Is this why?
Exactly, yeah.
Sprues.
Because it's a sprue. That's what we call it.
So what would you do for RC then? Greg's plastic bags.
Greg.
No.
my sprues are still a bit wet. They'll dry.
See, you should use the air compressor. That's
Should have
why.
used the air
That's
compressor.
why I used it. I mean, it blew
We'll
a
have to
few
keep-
parts into oblivion, but that is not the point.
You didn't need that piece.
I didn't need a jerry can.
Right. Well, I'll show you how it's done. So you'll see there's kind of like that flat bit there. You kind of want to cut it there, and then sand the extra bit off.
Well, that seems quite a lot of work.
Well, you're better off cutting off the extra bit here, and then like you can either clean it up. I like to just use a knife and basically go on the edge because it won't do any bad.
Am I cutting the right piece off here? Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah, that's the right one. So there's like the 4 frames. That's what it should look like. And I've got a file too. If you want, you can use a file.
You raided your mum's drawer for this, I suppose.
At this stage, if you want to bend the bumper bar off a bit, we could.
Why? Oh, you mean to make it look weathered?
Yeah,
and,
look
and
at it a little
broken
bit.
and damaged.
Yeah. We just have to be careful not to bend the whole frame. Like
I'm not going to bend mine
that
because
part
I'm really ham-fisted. I'll basically break it. I'll just bend it a bit. There we go.
Yeah. Just manually. Oh,
You see?
I've already broken it.
You
The
remember
plastic in this kit is really brittle.
as we just discovered. Is this going to be one of those videos like how not to build?
I'm worried it might turn out that way. That's all right. One of the things is also bouncing back from your mistakes.
Oh, okay. Nice improvisation.
There we go. So, like, I've done that.
Why don't we heat the plastic up a bit with a hot air gun?
Well, that was what I was going to suggest, but you got to be careful because you don't want to heat all of this up and bend parts you don't want to.
Okay.
Tweezers
I
might
just want to
also
use,
help.
I want to use the cool tool with tools. Never mind. I'm going to drink tea while he does that.
Yeah, while I bend pieces of plastic. There we go. Mine's caused me more distress than I think I've caused it.
Ooh, I can smell nice glue smells. I'm just going to bar that for a second. Oh, don't try this at home.
Bumper bar sufficiently bent.
Oh, yeah, that is actually quite sufficiently bent, whereas mine is...
Maybe your Jeep's brand new.
Mine's showroom.
Showroom model.
condition.
All right, well, I'll let you use the plastic sprue cutters and I'll use the knife, but basically we want to cut out these two that have basically like you got your transmission there, that would be your diffs.
Like front and rear axle
Yeah,
type.
front and rear axle assembly.
Where are you cutting it from? Like on... Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah, from the little...
Gosh.
There's like a circular part coming out of the axles.
Ooh, it's very fiddly, isn't it? And yeah,
Just be careful not to break the transmission,
the drive shaft.
the drive shafts, sorry. I call the whole assembly a transmission.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
He's going to help correct my videos by making sure I use the correct
it
car
would be good to
terms.
call it transmission if it wasn't not the
If it wasn't not the transmission.
Transmission is like in...
It'd be this little bit
be
here.
like in English, it would be like... In English.
In
English land.
Back where I'm from.
Back in the day, it would be the gearbox.
I see. So that would be this little thingy here.
Yeah,
And that's your
the
engine.
transmission already on that bit there.
Yeah.
These are your straight solid axles with the diff.
There we
section
go.
there.
And this would be the front because it's got the
What's this bit? Do
the
you have to have this
linkage.
bit on here?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, we do.
Ooh.
That's for your steering.
Nearly cut that off.
Yeah.
Nearly cut off the steering
You
assembly.
nearly cut off the steering assembly. So they'll basically go like that, but we've got leaf springs. So these ones we'll have to be a bit careful with because unless you can tell them apart, we'll need to put them in the right spots. So basically we'll glue them on straight after they're ready. So
Right, I
the
can
front
see 'em.
ones are B6 and B7. So if you look on the sprue, you got your numbers.
Ah, right.
Since it
So,
says B, so
B
that's
on
the right
there,
one.
and then 6 and
6 and
7's
7.
down here.
And the worst part is you're gonna have to cut off. You see that little ball?
Yeah.
That's just an injection mark from the molding. So
How are you supposed
it
to know
gets cut
that?
off there. Well, if you look at the instructions, you'll see. Making sure
So
that
there's two bits that need to be separated.
two little knobs.
A knobbly bit what's got to come off.
No, yeah, you want it to look like that. So it's got that little piece sticking up there.
That is so minute. I don't think I'm capable of this tiny operations.
You've fixed up a Traxxas gearbox, haven't you?
Well, yeah, but they, like I can see them. Hole on the outside, right?
Yep, that's correct.
I still got to cut that knob end off there, yeah?
Yep, that circle bit. Don't cut the other thing off, otherwise it's going to go to buggery.
All hell will break loose.
Yeah, your leaf springs will have nothing to actually attach
They'll
to.
remain unsprung.
Exactly. We'll end up having to make it look like they crashed, and for some inexplicable reason, a small part that probably wouldn't break in real life broke off.
Yeah. I had a minor skirmish in the desert and one of my leaf springs fell off.
Yeah, German just shot straight through in between the wheels. Missed me, fortunately. Now I'm gonna put them in place. It's kind of good I'm a tiny bit ahead because I can figure out what doesn't quite work with this kit.
What doesn't quite work with this kit is my fingers are much too large and I've got tiny hands.
Do you want tweezers? I got tweezers you can use. Yeah, I used to have the really good pointed ones, but I've misplaced them.
When people say to me, what would be the best glue for this? And I'm like, oh, definitely the Tamiya cement because it's got a brush in the lid. I now realise.
A nozzle applicator is, as far as I'm aware, it's much more popular. I think everyone, when they do this, have their own idea of what's best. But
Well, I'm enjoying my nozzle.
yeah, I'm enjoying my nozzle too.
I was going to say I was enjoying your nozzle and then I realised that.
That's even worse.
Yeah, let's leave that. I'm amazed, genuinely, that none of this is stuck to my skin yet.
Yeah, I
because-
know. Well, it doesn't tend to glue too much to your fingers. The super glue will, but this stuff, like, I mean, you could try, but I think more likely you're just going to start dissolving skin cells.
Oh, well, let's not do that then.
So, if you want, you can do what I've done and glue the leaf springs in place. Basically, the front ones have the little steering arms, I suppose you'd call them.
Or rack.
Or
steering
rack.
Is the correct term for
There
it.
we go.
I've got... Oh no, I made a fox pass.
What have you done? Have you got? Oh, you've glued them. Oh, you glued one on the wrong way. That's all right. We'll just have to unglue them
Oh, that doesn't seem to be that difficult to unglue them.
a little bit. There we go.
How have I glued that on the wrong way? Surely if I've glued one on the wrong way, they're both on the wrong way.
Yeah, you glued one on the wrong way. You kept the hole on the inside. So that little
See,
hole
and
should
I
be
remember
facing out.
distinctly you saying the hole goes on the outside.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is
Distinctly
gonna be
remember
just.
saying that.
All right. Well, I'll keep looking ahead. What's A4?
It's a piece of paper, usually. It's how they denote the size of paper. That was a dad joke, wasn't it?
That was
I
awful.
did a dad joke.
That was f***ing terrible.
No, beep. Fingers are definitely involved now. See, this is
How's it
interesting
looking?
because you make it look
Easier?
easier than it clearly is. My glue is doing... Well,
I think you gotta watch
preferably-
this one.
I haven't got any glue on that one yet.
You put it on the wrong way. I see what you've done. Okay, so this is the front of the Jeep where the engine block is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so
it
I'm
will
actually
go
putting
there.
it on the arse end of the...
Yeah, you're putting it on the wrong way, and you'll see how the gearbox kind of.
Oh, I
I think
see.
I had the same problem, but the end of the drive shaft is
it's got a little
it's
knob,
got a little knob on it, and it won't fit to the
That's
gearbox. So it should fit like that, basically. Yeah.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah, that's what we were doing. That's why nothing was lining up.
Yes, that's why.
The Jupiter wasn't in retrograde, and
yeah, my star sign was definitely all over the shop.
oh man, literally, it was over there. Sorry, was that also a dad joke?
That was worse. I'm gonna be honest. I think my joke definitely was better than that. Isn't it funny when you get it in the right place? It seems to work way better.
I know, right? It's almost as if it was designed to come together. Well, I'm figuring out how the rest of this thing goes together. Okay. Yeah. God, this is big. I've built Jeeps in 70-second scale, and like this is massive for me. They wouldn't be much bigger than about that big.
What, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Can I blow on this to make it go faster?
No.
Have I put too much glue on?
Maybe.
'Cause it's
Usually
just not gluing.
Maybe a little bit more.
More glue.
Usually what happens if you put too much glue on is it'll start to melt the plastic and like everything will go soggy and it will take a lot longer to dry.
Uh-oh.
Maybe that's what you've done and it's yeah, it probably just needs to be held a bit while the glue dries. And if you don't want to do that,
Ooh, got a bulldog. Oh no, we got a clothes peg.
let me try. See, a bulldog clip might end up just flicking off.
I'm sorry. Why don't we use a helping hand?
The helping hand. Oh, the helping hand.
What's there, look?
We'll let the helping hand do that.
Helping.
In the meantime, well, we can let that dry because maybe it'll also need to, and you can just work on the body. So I've cut out the base of the body.
This bit.
It's hard body. Yeah.
Is this? Where's the sprue cutter?
Sprue cutter. Here's the sprue cutter. Okay, and now I'll cut out the sides.
Oh, yeah, look at that. I genuinely expected this to be
Easier.
less of a ball ache. But then,
Can we say balls? Ball ache?
I don't know.
Oh man. I don't think this is too bad. I've seen some worse kits. I've never done 35th scale, so I'm sure.
I don't actually think there's anything wrong with the kit. I think it's possibly operator error on my part.
I would say, yeah, most likely. In Greg's case, if he makes any
sides on like
mistake.
that.
Yep, that's right. And you'll see there's like a square peg to line the sides up with.
I have noticed the square peg, yes.
And then basically the body is a tiny cylindrical shape.
Is that like cylindrical?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was going to hold that like that for a while.
Pretty much. We'll probably want to make sure the back's also lined up correct. Yeah. A little bit of glue might be needed there because you want to hold the side.
So we've got to just like glue along the seam.
Yeah, basically glue along that seam. And then, here we go. This is the stuff that might be useful.
Masking tape.
Yeah. Basically, you grab this stuff and then you just tie it. It may not be the best in this case because it might make the sides come down. I've just realised.
I'll just sit here holding it for a bit.
Yeah, although it's not too bad, it shouldn't take too long to. Mine's already kind of set. It looks vaguely like a Jeep. It's got a Jeepy form. Oh,
Now,
it's not fitting the best.
my top and bottom are ready, but do you know what? I could actually use these instructions. It shows you how to do it.
Yeah, you could. Oh, brilliant. You've got your rear and your front axle done.
Mm-hmm. And my sides are on my chassis.
You can slap the back on your chassis.
Chassis.
Your chassis. Yes, slap the back on
Hang
your
on a
body.
minute. My instructions are telling me I'm supposed to be painting the seats khaki at this stage.
Don't paint them khaki at this stage.
Okay.
Because I think, McFly, if you're going to spray paint the whole thing in desert yellow, why the hell would you bother? Hey, McFly! Hey, butthead!
Hey, butthead!
Yeah, because think about it this way. If you were going to paint the seats khaki now,
Yes.
and then you wanted to paint it desert yellow, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to cover over your seats.
Oh,
That's effort.
You know when there's like long pauses where I'm holding stuff?
Yeah.
You're going to cut all that out?
I'm not cutting this one out because I think it's mildly amusing.
Ben. So, tell me, Lucas Sprues.
Yeah.
Based on other kits you've built, what is your current estimate? Oops, oh dear, this isn't working. What is your current feeling about this kit?
Well,
in terms of quality.
It definitely feels like a bit old school Tamiya because I think you'll notice it a lot more with the figures, and they're going to take a bit of cleaning up if we want to get them done looking proper. But you'll notice, I'll show you, but you can kind of see how they've got seam lines all along their body, and that's kind of typical for old Tamiya stuff. So also on these boxes here, I think that's a bit, I don't know if they're trying to make it look like it's part of the box, but it looks a little bit like a seam line. That kind of stuff is quite common on these old Tamiya kits. So they...
How old is this Tamiya kit?
This is 1970, I think, or 1975 when this one was released, so it is bloody old. Right, you're going to hate this part because basically, what is it calling this part? I don't know what it's calling it, but it's like a little shock, and it goes here. I'm using tweezers to get it. It fits between the steering arms, and it's going in that little hole that we were talking about on the leaf spring.
Holy moly, that is minute.
There. There's 4 of them.
Are they essential?
I mean, you could slap some dirt in there and I suppose hide it, but otherwise you're going to have a few little holes here and there.
I see what you mean about sliding it around.
Oh yeah, but eventually you'll feel it kind of go in. Just make sure you've got a bit of down pressure.
Like one side lines up.
That was a bit of a struggle, but oh well, that part is in place.
One side lines up, the other side pops off. Brilliant. Where's the old magic
There we
stick?
go. If you have to, you might have to kind of wiggle around the sides of the body to get it to line up nice.
Thing is, I don't want it to be under tension.
Yeah.
Not twisted.
Yeah, the plastic probably won't. It's quite hard, this plastic. You get some plastic that's a bit softer and more likely to bend. But as we discovered with my unfortunate bumper bar wreckage.
This is brittle.
So if it turns out we're both just as good as each other as doing up the model, the only way to tell them apart is going to be my bumper's bent.
I think that is not something you need to worry about.
And maybe yours will or will not include a very, very small piston-y thingy. A shock absorbing looking part.
It's actually a shock damper.
A shock damper, that's what it is.
However, what mine will include is lots of fingerprints in the glue all over it.
Oh no.
Is that a modelling fox pass or faux pas?
Yes, it is considered a faux pas, and there's kind of no way to clean it, which is the big problem. As far as I'm aware. If you got any tips, pass them on to us, because
comment down below. I've wanted to say that forever.
Yeah.
Comment down below.
below.
Smash my bell or whatever it's called. No, wait, hang on, that can't be right.
Okay, yeah, so comment down below. If you got any tips on how to get rid of those awful fingerprints, the only way I can think of is literally waiting for the glue to dry and then sanding it down. And then if you've got any surface detail, like these raised parts, and you got glue on it, there's no way, it's all gone.
Just throw it in the fire?
Well, I mean, try and disguise it as dirt maybe on a Jeep. There are tricks, but I mean, you're not looking too bad. I've seen people literally get just their fingerprints all over the side. And to do that, you basically have to cover your fingerprint, your hands in glue, which you can do accidentally, putting stuff in place.
I've got my chassis done. I'm now going to glue on my rear wheels bit.
I would suggest, since you're spraying the model, leave the wheels off. Slap them on last.
Hang on a minute. I don't have to spray the model. Have you put your tyres on?
No, I'm leaving them off because what we're going to do is we're going to paint it all and then we're going to put some dirt in here.
So we're diverging from the destructions now and not putting parts A21 and the spare tyres on.
Yep, we're going to leave the tyres off and that little sand recovery track.
What about the towing hook?
Yeah, I put the towing hook on.
For part A13.
Yep. Which I think is easier to do if you... Oh no. I think you're supposed to put that on before you put the body on. But we'll figure it out.
I think we can work it out. I'm going to cut it off this...
Should we find any troubles just trying to slide it into place, we'll just have to cut the rear part off, because that will be the bit that blocks it, if that makes sense.
No, but anyway, yeah.
Sweet. I'm making absolutely no sense.
Oh, I do know what you mean, because that stops it falling
Yeah,
back.
there. Now you're seeing that.
I see.
But if you see it, you'll know the solution, kind of.
I will.
These shock dampeners are very painful.
Luckily, my chassis is so badly glued together that I can just slide it on in there. Okay, there's a slight problem.
Yeah.
One of my shock dampers just
Flicked off into oblivion.
vanished into the ether.
We've got one here.
Yeah, I lost it.
Oh no. The joy of model making. Oh. There.
See, that's experience for you.
Yeah, it's in the kit. This is Mr. Helping Hand. Hello.
I really, really, really hope you edit that out.
Do you?
No.
Do you though?
No, because it wasn't me that said it.
Right.